this is part B of the Cantan game reflection. This is describing the trading related successes and problems I had. So first I'll go through the successes. My first success was capitalizing on brick at the beginning because I was able to gain a lot of the brick at the beginning and nobody else was getting brick, which is a requirement for roads and settlements. A lot of people ended up trading with me because they needed that material in order to build their own roads and settlements. But I was able to quickly build cities because it required a lot of brick. And I had a nice supply of stone, which made it easy to build the cities as well. And I had made a lot of victory points at the beginning of the game. Another success that I had, not necessarily trading, but was cutting off Garen. So by cutting off Garen with Darius, I forced him into a corner because he needed a lot of brick and some stone in order to start building some settlements and cities. And because he had a nice supply of hay and wood, I ended up trading with him a lot because me and Darius had cut him off in order to prevent him from getting any further and obtaining any more materials that we needed. And because we did that, he was forced to trade with us, which worked for us in the long run because he continuously needed materials from us. And then the last success was teaming up with Darius near the end with trying to defeat Bronson because Bronson had the most victory points near the end and we didn't want him to win. So I had a very good supply of brick and Darius had a very good supply of sheep. So we decided to trade with each other, and by giving Darius more brick, he was able to build cities, and because Darius gave me sheep, I was able to get development cards. So we were slowly inching up on Bronson, and the more times I got development cards, I was able to take his materials so that he couldn't get development cards or build new roads or cities, even though he ended up winning in the end. But that partnership really increased my materials and increased what I was able to do with my property. Same with Darius. He was able to increase all positive aspects of the game. Now, some of the problems I faced was when the game started coming to an end, because the first thing I had done was I was too aggressive at the beginning of trading. So when the trading started off, I made them give me 2 materials for just 1 brick because I had all the brick. Now, because I did that, it worked in my favor at the beginning because I was able to obtain a lot of material. But once everyone had enough properties on the board, they no longer needed brick, and I just kept getting a supply of brick with very little from other materials. I had a nice supply of stone, not so good on wood, and not so good on hay, and I only had 1 house or 1 settlement on sheep, but it was very low probability, so I wasn't getting it at all, basically. So my aggressiveness at the beginning kind of pushed me back near the end. It wasn't smart in terms of trading because they didn't want to trade with me anymore because they thought like, oh, your deals are unfair, so we'll trade with other people who have fair deals. So that pushed me back. Another problem I faced was with the sheep again. So my trading, they realized that I needed sheep in order to start gaining some development cards. And this is in the middle of the game before me and Darius partnered up, or at least worked together. So they'd realized quickly that I didn't have any sheep, or I had 1 sheep, but I wasn't getting it, and they needed brick. But because they had gained all the brick that they needed, it was now me in their shoes where I just needed sheep, but I wasn't getting it. So I was stuck with my victory points. I wasn't losing, but I was just stuck in one spot and not increasing any of my materials whatsoever. And yeah, it was very challenging in order to get sheep because they weren't necessarily the best towards me because I was very aggressive at the start. But that was another problem I faced. I just didn't have enough of one material and I wasn't able to get it very easily. So those are the strategies I used, and then the successful strategies I used, and then those are some of the problems I had faced.